What's up, Soul Tribe family? You are back in on another episode of Soul Seat Conversations with it, which is a mental health podcast for resilient humans on the grow. My name is Soliel Lindsey. I am the owner of Soul Rise Essentials, where we offer mental health merchandise, apparel, jewelry, and accessories for resilient humans on the grow. Our podcast is monthly. It's just something that we do to create and facilitate community. Who is a community? Don't you want to know? If y'all check out my shirt, which I have a special announcement about this. Look at that, y'all. Look at that, y'all. You see it. You see it. This is who the Soul Tribe family is. So we are a global community of resilient humans on the grow, authentic thrivers on a healing and wellness journey, moving in light and love, okay, to better ourselves and in turn the world. Also, the brave person wearing this shirt. So when you get this shirt, you'll be part of the Soul Tribe family as well. But you don't have to purchase our merch to be part of the Soul Tribe family. If you are in the comments, if you are watching the replay, you are part of the family. If you are working on yourself, bettering yourself, for the community, for the world at large, you are our people, okay? So welcome. Today is episode 31 of our mental health podcast, and I'm super excited. We have Malaika. I think I said it right. It's either Malaika or Malaika. It's Malaika. But she's coming on. She's our first international guest, y'all, for the podcast. She is in Nairobi, Kenya today, and I'm super duper excited to present her to you all, to share her with you, welcome her to the Soul Seat, and also to the Soul Tribe family. I met her on TikTok, so we're going to talk about that a little later. But as you know, I start off the episodes with just a little bit of information about who we are, what we do, housekeeping things, updating y'all, because I have not been regular on social media lately, just been head down, developing myself personally and business-wise and professionally as well. And it's been a lot of work. It's a lot of work to build a business from the ground up. So later, I'll talk a little bit about what's happening in July, which is our 3rd year anniversary. Some super exciting updates about that. But so what is Soul Seat Conversations? If it's your first time here, then I need you to know that we exist to share stories of resilience, to create global community, and for you to discover new ways to thrive via the brave voices of others. You can also sit in the Soul Seat. It's virtual. You can be anywhere in the world as long as you got a camera and some lights, okay? Listen, email us at mystory@soulriseessentials.com. We will consider your story, see if it's a good fit for the podcast, and get you on the calendar. We are booked up right now up until about August. So let's get September, October, November, and December full. It's something that we do once a month because I am a busy single mom entrepreneur, okay? So I'm never going to put too much on myself that I can bear. But it's been moving. It has been 30 plus episodes of just amazing thrivers that are still continuing on their journey, that are not letting life get them down, because the trials and the tribulations, they're gonna come, okay? But with the Soul Tribe family and with open connection, authenticity, and just you being brave enough and sharing your story in an authentic way, we can overcome a lot together. You don't have to do it alone. You are part of the Soul Tribe family, okay? So you join us. You can shop our mental health merch at soulriseessentials.com. If you get on our email and our text list, you can actually get 15% off your order. So you definitely want to join the tribe, the VIP tribe, behind the scenes tribe, because they're actually going to get a chance to buy this shirt. This is an exclusive shirt that I'm launching, y'all, for my birthday tomorrow, April 19th, closing out Aries season, save the best for last, okay? So in love with this shirt. I designed everything until I, get a designer in-house. It's just me. But isn't this cute, y'all? You can scan this QR code, or if anybody you connect with, you can have them scan this QR code. If you're telling them about the brand, how much you love us and our mental health merch, our mission, our podcast, they can scan this right from your t-shirt. And everything they want to know about Soul Rise Essentials, my story, our story, and to shop our merch. Listen, and we got this sun is designed. It's for us. That's our brand. Y'all know we trademarked. Did y'all know that? Okay, let me stop. All right, and then we have our beautiful logo over here as well. This is a fun fact that you probably did not know, but with our logo, so soul means sun. Soleil, my name, also means sun. Thank you, Coco. Hey. So this logo is a representation. It's very symbolic. So in the O underneath it's a sun, right? but it's rising. Okay. That's where we can be when we're at rock bottom. We done been through some things, trauma, hurts, all of that stuff. Right. But as you gain community, the Soul Tribe family, y'all get it now? Is it making sense? You can rise again. Soul rise. Your sun is rising again. Your inner soul is rising again, right? So that is the symbolism and the meaning behind our logo. As you gain community, you're going to come on over here. You're going to rise again. You see it? Ain't that beautiful? Also, do you see it? That's our R. That means we're trademarked. Probably can't see it, but I wanted to share that because a lot of y'all probably don't know like why we rebranded and what it all means. And so I'm excited about this. That's the logo on that sleeve. This is the QR code on this sleeve and the Soul Tribe family. So y'all, these will be launching tomorrow on pre-order. And again, if you are on our VIP list, then you will know how and when to shop. And I might be giving y'all a discount code. I don't know. You have to stay tuned to see. Woo! Y'all know I'm going to do a mindful moment when Malaika comes on. And I be talking too fast. I get so excited about this brand, my mission, helping y'all, sharing stories, sharing my stories. I'm going to slow down. Thank you for the love, Coco. Coco Lovey says, sis, this is beautiful. Congratulations. I'm so proud of you. Thank you, Brisk T. Thank you for the follow. I'm loving the Soul Tribe family energy in the comments right now. Y'all keep it coming. This is an interactive, beautiful, authentic space. So bring it on, okay? I'm trying to see if there's somebody I know. I'm sorry. Y'all know these little avatars be small on Instagram. Okay, announcements, and then we're going to get Malaika in here. Talked about where you can shop our merch. Trigger warning. This is a very enlightening, empowering podcast to help you thrive, right? So that means sometimes we're going to touch on some sensitive topics. So every episode, I always give a trigger warning because some things that may be said may hit you a little hard depending on where you are in your journey and what you've experienced. So feel free to always just click out if you need to, come back if you want to. But it's very serious stuff. We still gonna have a good time. We're going to be laughing. We're going to be smiling. We're going to be sharing wisdom. But, you know, I always want to preface that. And also, even though we've had some amazing professionals in their own right, in their own respective fields, come on. I'm talking about therapists, counselors, all of that stuff. When they're in the soul seat, they are a human, okay? So they're taking off their professional hat and they're simply sharing their lived experiences. Nothing said here is meant to diagnose you, to tell you exactly how to live your life. It's simply inspiration. So consult with yourself, to consult with God, your doctor, whoever you need to consult with before you take anything as advice, because we're not giving advice. We're just sharing stories, okay? Your energy is great. I met you a long time ago. Oh, thank you, love. I'm going to go look at your page just so I can refamiliarize myself because the picture's so small. But I appreciate you bringing such great energy into the Soul Seed Conversation episode. Thank you, my love. What else? That's pretty much it. You can see all of our episodes at on YouTube. Just type in Soul Rise Essentials, and then we have a playlist specifically for our podcast. Or you can just type in Soul Seed Conversations, SOL, Seat Conversations. You'll see all past episodes. All right. Now, let's bring the beautiful Malaika. It kind of mutes me. Hey, Kayla girl. What's up, boo? Child, let me drink some water. Hey, love. Is the power back on?
Hello. Can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
This power is coming in and out. It's coming in and out, so we're gonna do the best that we can today.
Okay, well, just a quick backstory. So Malaika is in Kenya and it's a storm and the power is trying to play, but that means somebody's supposed to gain something from what we're going to be talking about today, but we're going to roll with the punches. So hopefully there's not too much like interruption with power and Wi-Fi and all of that stuff. So welcome, my love, to the Soul Seat.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a long time coming, so I'm so excited to finally be here.
Thank you. It has been a long time coming. And I just want to start the conversation off with just a preface. Like in April, it's my birthday. I get to do what I want. And so I wanted to bring you on. Yes, you're going to be sharing your story, but it's going to be very conversational, which it typically is. But we connected on TikTok. And so I thought it would be cool for us to just talk we don't even know each other. Like, I just saw your content on Instagram. I mean, not Instagram, TikTok. Maybe you saw mine. I'm not sure, but I immediately resonated with you. It was the vibes and all of that good stuff. And so this is completely new, y'all. We've only ever talked, like, did we talk on the phone? No, we did a Zoom for like 30, 45 minutes. So this is completely raw, and it just shows the power of the internet when used correctly, and also how you find your tribe of people. What you got to say about that, Malaika?
You know, I've met so many amazing people like you who are really devoted to opening these kinds of conversations so that we can live as authentic humans, so that we can connect in our humanity in really powerful ways. So I am so grateful to the internet for bringing us together. I've enjoyed seeing your content. I've enjoyed, watching previous Soul Seats. So I'm glad that it's my turn.
It's your turn, honey. Sorry, I'm listening. I'm just trying to get this little camera straight. Your friends are in the building. They have been sharing and congratulating you and are excited to hear from you. So shout out to Malaika Soul Tribe. Am I saying your name the right way?
Malaika, yes.
Malaika, okay. Let me read some comments real quick. So Andre says he's tuned in. Nurture Nature. Natasha says she's so excited. Andre says ready to hear from Malaika. She's a deep soul. She's game. She's powerful. Okay, girl, y'all better come through and shout out y'all girl. I love that for you.
So much love, Andre. Thank you for being here.
I love it. Well, I know that you do a lot, but I did not have a chance to go through the content like I said I would, because, birthdays, my son's birthday, it's just been a lot of stuff going on. But I want to ask you, because this is typically a portion that I lead, which is a mindful moment. But do you do like mindful breathing and things like that?
I do. Okay. I like to do some meditation, do some breath work. So is that what we're getting into today?
Yeah. So what I do is typically very simple for the sake of time, right? But I do like to start it off like that, recenter, because I be doing a lot of talking and sometimes the content gets a little bit heavy. So just setting intention. So I just do, it's like a box. I think I've learned that it's called a box count.
Box breathing.
Box breathing. You got it. Okay. So it's like 4. I do 4 seconds. So 4 in, hold for 4, and out for 4. But if you want to do something else, it's your stage, girl. We just here.
I love box breathing. It's really good to like just reset the nervous system and bring us into the moment, create the container for this conversation.
Well, let's do it, honey.
Okay.
So we're going to have a mindful moment, and I want y'all in the comments to join us as well. And then we're going to get into this conversation. So I'll talk us through it, and then we'll move through it. All right. So we're just going to do 4 counts in. Ready on 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And in. Hold for 4. And out. 1 more. Hold. And out. This is 3 in. Hold. And out. Last one in for 4. Hold. And out. It's perfect for me. It's easy. It's quick. Like you said, it resets the nervous system, and it's accessible to anybody. If you breathe in, you can do it. So I love it.
Just 4 rounds does so much already. I can already feel like myself settling.
Yes, likewise. So Briss T says, we love us some Malaika. I'm loving all of your people in the comments right now. So again, welcome to Soul Seat Conversations. Tell us who you are. And I normally say, tell us what you do. I'll ask that same question later, but with a different meaning behind it. So start off and tell us who you are and what you do.
Okay. So my name is Malaika. I do a lot of things and everything. I am a dancer. I'm an artist. I am an entrepreneur in several different ways, an educator, and a meditation and breathwork facilitator. So all of those pieces come together in different ways. But yeah, we'll start it off there.
Well, first of all, girl, I didn't even know all of that. A dancer, artist, what kind of art?
I am an artist that has been away from her preferred medium. I really, really love pottery, but also I'm into photography and I like to doodle. I consider that to
Wow.
be my art.
So you're a creative, essentially.
Through and through, through and through.
I love that. So for people who saw the flyer, they saw your last name. Can you tell them your last name and the origin behind it?
Yes, so my full name is Malaika Ogukwe. I am Nigerian by heritage, born and raised in the States, but now currently living in Nairobi, Kenya. So a very diasporic kind of
I,
experience.
I love that for you. So I'm based in Virginia, for those of you who don't know, since we have some new people joining. Where were you based at when you were in the States?
Um, Primarily in Boston.
Okay. All right. So grew up in Boston. So we're both pretty much on the East Coast.
East
Okay.
Coast.
I love it. So how do you spend your days? Like, what are you doing with everything that you got going on? What is your day-to-day looking like for you?
Yeah, so with everything that I have going on, it's really important that I ground myself and like tend to my energy before I now go and absorb and engage with the energy of the rest of the world. So I'm really big on some sort of mindfulness practice. I depends on the morning I'm having, but I'll either meditate, I'll do some breath work, or I'll do some yoga or some journaling. Something from I like to have like a mindfulness what's it called, a mindfulness like bucket list is not the right word, grocery list
Yeah.
that I kind of just pick and choose from in the morning, like, okay, what is my spirit feeling today, and so that's kind of how I like to start my days. And then the actual days, right now I'm doing a fellowship program here in Nairobi. So I am focused on youth entrepreneurship. So I am developing programming for the organization that I'm working at, to support young entrepreneurs here in Kenya. And in the evenings, we try to do some creative whatever. I visited a friend in Cape Town a couple of months ago, and she was completing a pottery residency, so she had a bunch of leftover clay. So I came back with a huge block of clay, so that has been an outlet for me to just decompress and just do things with my hands. I really like things that I can do with my hands, but then also staying connected. I think professionally, I try to give back as much as I can. But then also socially, there's a lot to do here in Kenya. There's live music, there are pop-ups, there's a lot of artsy fartsy things that I like to get into. So depending on the day, depending on the week, I do a mix of all of that.
I love it. I remember one of the first things that I noticed about you when I came across your content on TikTok. I was like, you seem very settled, like into yourself, and people have told me sometimes, like, you have a happy face. I was at this party. It was actually like a work party, and it was an older white couple, and the woman was upset, but the guy was like, you have a really happy face. And that was the first time I heard somebody like really put it like that. And I feel like that when I see you. And so my question to you, although on the outside we can present a certain way, I love to ask this question early on in the podcast, because it kind of gives you a picture up to where people can be, even though physically they look one way. So, and sometimes it does match up. So I want to ask you, on a scale from 1 to 5, what is your mental health like today, like in this moment?
I think today we're at like a 3.54. I think we're in a really good place. Really, it's just regular life that's happening that kind of throws me off a little bit, but I'm actually really, really happy. I feel like I'm living what I expect my 20s to look like.
Okay.
Very, very grateful to be in this season because, Lord, oh Lord, there are seasons.
And I'm glad you said that. Somebody said they're waiting on Crafted by Malaika merch. I love that. Y'all better support her. And they said, yes, her smile can light up a room. It absolutely does. We like 2 Kool-Aid characters on this podcast today with those big smiles. And I love that for us, and I love that for y'all, because sometimes somebody's smile and energy alone can really like reposition you and how you feeling on a certain day. I know for me, I've got friends that I call, like sometimes when I'm in certain spaces, I just don't want to be bothered. But then sometimes in my life, I'm like, I need to pick me up. So that may look like music, that may look like going for a walk, going for a run, but there are certain friends that I know I can call, and just their voice, and certain people that you see, their hug, their smile, it radiates and gets you where you need to be.
It brings the energy, it livens you up, and we are so grateful for those people in our life.
Yes, yes. I'm happy that she's able to do that for so many of y'all, including myself. Well, I like to also share, thank you for putting where you are into perspective. I'm in a similar space. And it's funny because when I do these every month, I ask that question to the guests and I answer it as well. But today I can really say I'm like a 4.5.
Let's go.
I've had some challenging moments just in terms of my schedule and trying to like balance everything as a mom, business owner, working for a nonprofit, part-time job. And so it's a lot to bear at times, but I've had some enlightening moments and just new information that I've learned to kind of further my life, my spiritual journey. And I just feel like I feel lifted, you know, and I feel like the weather is starting to warm up here in Virginia where I'm at. And the sun is a really good mood, or mood pick me up. So I'm feeling good today. I don't know how I feel tomorrow, but that's how I feel today.
I can feel the energy on you. You're glowing. You feel so radiant right now.
Thank you, love. And then my birthday's tomorrow, so I'm excited. You know, every year is a chance for you to just kind of reflect and see where you are and where you have been. And for me, I'm just looking forward to what's to come. That's
Can I ask how you are like reflecting on this birthday?
You know, so I posted a reel earlier. I took my son to school, and as I was coming back, I overheard. No, when I was taking him to school, because we got to listen to his music on the way to school. But I overheard the car next to me playing "Water Runs Dry" by Boyz II Men. You know that song? And I was like, I haven't heard that song in so long, so I played it when I was dropping him off. And I'm listening to the lyrics, and you know how sometimes you can listen to songs over and over. You can hear certain things over and over, but when you're supposed to get something, you get it, right? And so he was like, he says some people work things out, and some people don't know how to change. And for me, I didn't even think about being in a relationship. I was thinking about relationships with family members and how we want to be better versions of ourselves, but our pride in the moment when you're just like going through motions and snapping back and having trauma responses and not really thinking about what you're doing. I really thought about all those moments with a couple family members, and I'm like, man, like we're in our own way. And I'm looking at how old I'll be tomorrow, 33 years old, and I think about my diary and journal entries and things that I've talked about, and I'm like, sis, you've been talking about this for way too damn long. So I've been reflecting on certain patterns, and I'm like, so wait, it's time to give it up, sis. Like, how long you gonna be talking about this shit? So that's what I have been reflecting on.
Okay. So this next year, we're doing things different. It's what I'm hearing.
We are going to try our damnedest because it's very easy. It's easier said than done. But I think I do have a new, I think I have developed like a new paradigm of how I want to look at things, because at this age, I'm thinking about, which may sound morbid to some people, but I'm a realist. I've been thinking about what I want my retirement years to look like. And so I'm not just thinking about monetary things or vacationing or retirement in itself. How do I want to feel? What kind of relationships do I want to have? Where do I want to live? What does business look like for me? Will I have sold my business? Will I even be, will I live on a beach somewhere? I've been thinking about that, but it's not just the tangibles. It's how I feel on the inside and what remarks I want people to say about me while I'm still here and when I'm gone. I've been thinking about that kind of stuff.
I feel like I've had similar reflections for like the last couple of years. There's a question that I would always like time to time come back to, is like, what kind of elder do I want to be? What kind of ancestor do I want to be? And that is kind of like the guiding question for a lot of the decisions and choices that I make at this point, because hey, life moves quick. Life moves quick, and life is short in so many ways. So like, how can I identify as closely as possible to that version that I want to be, if God willing I make it to that ripe old age?
Yes, that's so good. Sabrina says, yes, I'm fed up too. Like, I tell people all the time, when you're ready to change when you're tired of your own shit. And I curse. I'm sorry, I do be cussing, child. When you're tired of your own shit, that's when you're ready to change. Yeah. Oh,
I'm wishing you the happiest birthday, and praying that everything that you want to manifest in this next year comes true, and it comes easily, and it comes swiftly.
easy and sweet. I wanted to happen so fast. I look up like, damn, I ain't even know. I'm right here what I was praying for. Like, I'm right here. I
Like,
love that. So I got some questions for you because now that people know, they feel your energy, they see what your disposition is like. I always meet people like that, and I'm like, I wonder what their story is because it's always a story. And
story.
so I talked to you and did a pre-interview, and we were talking about your past. You are a person that is existing in this world without either of your both parents, and that make me feel some kind of way. And so I would love to talk to you about that journey and grief. But before we go there, like, what is your origin story? I know you said you were in Connecticut, right?
I was in Massachusetts. Close.
Massachusetts. Sorry, I get those mixed up. Massachusetts. So, what was life like as a kid? You know, and are you a first generation American?
Yes. So first, my family to be born in the U.S. So I have two younger sisters. We grew up in Massachusetts, in one of the suburbs of Boston. Went to Catholic school up until ninth grade. I went to boarding school for the rest of high school, and then I went to undergrad in LA,
Let's
out to California.
pause. Hold on. Hold on. Because where I grew up at, I heard boarding school and I immediately just have really bad like thoughts about it. It's like you
Mhm.
send your kids and go, what do y'all do? What is boarding school? Help us.
Yeah, so boarding school for me. So I went to a prep school in Concord, New Hampshire, and was there from my sophomore year to my senior year. And it was a pretty prestigious school. You had to apply, you had to do test scores. Like, it was almost like applying to college, but for high school. And for me, it was a really great experience. I love the people that I am still connected with from that time. I think it was a coming of age in a way that I could have never prepared for. I don't think my parents could have ever like envisioned that. But the opportunities that came from that network and from like the school just opened so many doors, in a way that I was like, okay, looking back now, I'm like, okay, it was worth it. But going through that experience as a Black girl who was trying to figure herself out, I was a teenager, in a very, very white space. It was character development.
Yeah.
It was
So
truly character.
when you say it sounds like you're using board school and prep school interchangeably. Am I hearing that right?
Yes.
Okay. So I think that when you hear boarding school, the first time I heard it was on that show called Hey Arnold, and it just seemed like a place that you just send your kids like to get away from you. So boarding school is not that.
No, at least mine wasn't. I know there are some that, do fit that stereotype, but mine was a place for in hindsight, I'm realizing there was a lot of room for self-exploration and just exposure to opportunities and activities that I otherwise would have never known about. So it definitely expanded my worldview and what I can believe in, what I can imagine, what I can like expect for myself, in ways that I just could not have done at my home high school. Yes, it was a co-ed boarding school, and all our teachers, faculty, every was a fully residential. Everybody was on campus. Yeah,
Wow.
so not a typical boarding school the way that you might have heard growing up.
But it sounds like all of those academic environments really have shaped you, and I mean, you seem very well rounded. Okay, so that's school. I didn't mean to interrupt, but I had a question about the boarding school, child.
Yeah, so did undergrad out in California. I studied economics. I do come from Nigerian parents, and my Nigerian father was bent on the economics. He wanted economics and math, and I was just like, "There's no way I'm majoring in math, but I can compromise on the economics."
Mhm.
So yeah, I was a track athlete at one point. Was a thrower, so shot put, hammer, discus, and I was a very social kind of girl. Yeah, and really passionate about education. So some of my background is in that space. So was always trying to get out into the community, either through community service projects or community engagement programs that I would help lead. In high schools, middle school, I ran the full gamut of education. But that's a little bit about my background.
Okay.
I forget what the original was.
So your parents are both from Nigeria?
Yes, they
What?
both.
Well, oh, go ahead. Tell me what you were gonna say.
I was gonna say they both came to the States before me and my siblings were born. So my family's Igbo, and very, very, it's my heritage, lineage, like identity conversation is a whole separate thing. So I won't go down that path. But yeah, so much love for my parents and where I come from.
Yeah. So what was that like, without going too far into the cultural thing,
Mhm.
just because we could be here for a whole nother hour? Like, what was that like growing up with them, other than, them really pushing and enforcing your education and what dad wanted you to do?
Yeah.
How do you feel having that type of cultural experiences that was different from your peers? Do you think what can you say about that?
It was interesting because we didn't get to go back to Nigeria as much as my mom would have wanted us to. So I grew up feeling like, okay, I'm a little too Nigerian for the Americans, but a little too American for the Nigerians. And so there's like this third culture that, is elevated, that is like the Nigerian American experience, where there's a little bit of both. I think growing up, I felt a lot of like internal conflicts of just like, I don't know my culture, I don't know my people, I don't know XYZ, and felt a lot of shame around that. But as I've grown older, I wasn't taught like there's only so much that I can like carry myself. And I think I am growing in the way that I relate to my diasporic experience, right? Like Malaika is a Swahili name, and I'm in Kenya where the language is Swahili. So I am growing in like my identity as a child of the diaspora and what it means to me. So healing a lot of inner child wounds through this process.
It's giving full circle, and I love it.
Exactly.
I absolutely love it. Were you close with your parents?
I was.
Yeah.
I was. My mom was my best friend. You see me, you see my mom. And I think with my dad, I really sought his approvals, right? So like everything I did in school was like, okay, I want my dad to be proud of me. When even as I was going through college and looking for jobs, I was like, I really want to get a job that pays well, that's going to make my dad proud and make all of the sacrifices that he made worth it. So losing a parent, regardless of the relationship, is really hard. But I know they poured everything that they had into me while they were here, and I still feel that even however many years it's been.
It shows. It absolutely shows. How have you been able to like process losing your parents? Because we talked and you lost them. Was it within the same year or
16 months apart?
16?
So yeah, so my mom passed my junior fall, and then my dad went and joined her my senior spring.
And you're saying it through college, right?
Yeah.
You were in college.
Yeah, so, and I'm the first of three.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just like, oh my God, what do I do?
Yeah.
Like, what's going to happen to me and my sisters?
Yeah.
And, majority of our family still lives in Nigeria, or most of our family lives outside of the States. So, or let me say blood family, because my parents have cultivated a family that's through their community in a way that you don't always see. But Lord, I think for the first like year or two after my dad passed, or let me even backtrack a little bit. I think my mom had been sick. She like 9 or 10 years before she passed, she was in a car accident. And when she went to the hospital to get checked on, they found that she had stage 4 cancer. Had no symptoms, no signs, nothing. So immediately went into treatment. And she was a force to be reckoned with. She is a force to be reckoned with. The doctors were telling her she had like 6 months, 1 year left to live. And she was just like, no, that's just not going to be my story. And she ended up living another 9-10 years after that.
Wow.
So she's a force to be reckoned with. And she was always like the brightest lights. Like all the doctors and nurses would say, like she would have the most visitors. She would be like the happiest. You would never know how sick she was because of the way like that she presented herself. So a lot of her energy is that has been part of my journey to cultivate that energy. I'm like, yo, this woman was facing death who knows how many times, and she was still doing it with a smile. Like my little inconvenience, you know, with my Uber driver, like shouldn't be stressing me out as much as it does.
Yeah.
So I've tapped into her energy a lot to manage the big emotions that come with grief and loss. And then when my dad went, I was just like, whoa, what's going on?
Like, is this real? What is going on?
I'm just like, whoever's writing the story up there, can you relax? Take the pen off the page.
Yeah.
But, you know,
was this during the pandemic or no? How many years was this ago?
So this was 2019 that my dad passed away. So
okay.
Just before. So I was starting my big girl job. I was in management consulting, and consultants, if anyone knows what consulting is like, you know what that lifestyle is. But I was so determined to like just make a life for me and my sisters. Like if I gave up, like who would be there for my sisters? And that was a huge part of my motivation. But in that, I knew that I needed to be very serious and very intentional about taking care of myself. So immediately, like I started going back to the chiropractor. That was something that my parents, you know, did for us growing up, and I went and did that for myself. I was experiencing a lot of chronic pain. My grief was manifesting very physically, where there was tightness and tension all throughout my body, and my spine was just on fire all the time. And so when I went to the chiropractor and did my, my intake, they were saying like, yeah, your spine looks like that of a sedentary 60-year-old man. And I was just like, no way. So was doing
Can we put a pin in that real quick?
Let's go ahead.
Because I discovered chiropractic care in 2018 when I was pregnant. I had never experienced sciatica pain before. And first of all, thank you for sharing that. I'm like dialed into your story, just all of it. But I am so grateful that I was introduced to chiropractic care, because you think, because this is what I've always heard, that that's just a place that you go to if you get in a car accident. That's what I've heard. And so I love that your parents were hip to that and made it part of your wellness routine, because it really is it's one of the ways you can incorporate wellness into your life. Because I learned in my intake at the chiropractic office I went to, that your spine is connected to every single organ in your body. And just the education piece of it for me, I'm like, wow, didn't know that. Allergies, GI issues, mental health issues, like, dang. So I'm really glad that you touched on that, because we're talking about mental health. We're talking about wellness. And if you don't know about the amazing benefits of chiropractic care, it's amazing. Like sometimes I wake up with a crook in my neck and I just can't get rid of it. I go to get massages, all type of stuff. And just like this, whip me back into shape. I'm like, damn, I feel like brand new, So thank you for touching on that. I would really charge anybody to just do some research and see if there's an office like near you, a reputable one, and just look into the amazing benefits. I do want to read a quick comment real quick. God bless the firstborn children. Dana says, I'm sorry for your loss. You go, girl. Sabrina says, African dads, tough love. And earlier somebody said it's giving Zoe one-on-one. Is that an old cartoon or show?
Is it the show that Jamie Lynn Spears was on, where they were at a boarding school?
Okay, I slightly remember that. Andre says, for those who've lost a mother, losing a mother hits differently, and it may take forever to heal from the loss of a mother. There is something unique from a father's loss when you lose a mother. Yeah, man. I highly empathize, because of course I've never experienced that. I still have both of my parents. And while our relationship dynamics can be complicated at times, they're still here. I also think, and we're going to get back to your what you were sharing, but just in relation to what he said, there are so many complicated dynamics. And I actually made a video about this recently as well, where I talked about people are so quick, especially when you think about grief and losing parents, because people think you're supposed to go before your parents. Well, yeah, they think, well, I guess, never mind. Let me retract that statement. um, yeah. There's so many different dynamics. There are people who have their parents or still one parent, and the dynamics are just, it's not a one size fit all situation. And that's why I was asking you those questions about, like, were you close with them? What was that like? And you were honest, like, African dad, tough love, going hard. You better bring those A's and B's, get a
Yep.
great job because we sacrifice. That is true. So true. But you can still have very, nuanced relationships with people in your home. And so it does suck. Like, grief is terrible. Losing parents is awful. It's excruciating. It's something you just can't explain unless you've gone through it. I haven't gone through that. But I was actually talking to someone this morning on a call about my dad, and I'll share that story at some point, but I didn't meet my birth father until I was 25. So that's a different dynamic. Of course, like I said, my parents are still here, but I went 25 years of my life without knowing who this guy was. So it's interesting. Yeah.
Parental relationships are so complex and nuanced, and all the layers that like can be peeled back. You can do it till the end of time, and then a little bit then after. So I hear you, I see you, and like all my love, and just however you grow in that relationship, even for yourself or together, because it's not easy. It's not easy.
Yeah, it's not. Okay, back to you. I'm sorry. So we talked about the Cairo thing. You said you got into that. So wherever
Yeah.
you want to go.
So then I was working in my role as a consultant for a couple of months before the pandemic hit. So when everything locked down, we had a lot of time. We had a lot of time to sit with our thoughts. And I had a friend who like sent me a 30-day yoga challenge, and I was like, okay, well, I can't go to the gym, so let me try this out. And it absolutely changed my life. I really went deep. I started just searching and seeking and asking questions. At that time, because we had space, I just kept asking God, like, why me? Why me? Why do you have to take both of them? Why do you have to take them now? Why? Just the question why just kept coming over and over. And my dad was like a new age spirituality Christian kind of guy. So a lot of these like spiritual practices that are a bit more trendy now are things that I've been growing up with. So like the crystals and, smudging your home and working with different herbs and things like that was something that I'd always practiced. So in the pandemic, it's a year plus after my dad has passed, almost 2 years after my mom. I went full force into like taking these practices to take care of myself so that I had a full enough cup to pour back into my sisters, because we needed it. We needed it. And that's where all of this began. That's where I really started to think about like, okay, our humanity and what we prioritize and what we put our energy towards. And a lot of times we put them into things that don't benefit our wellness. And it's not because we don't want to. A lot of it is that we don't know, or we are socialized and raised in, to take on some of these less than healthy habits. So for me, I was like, okay, I need to do this for me so I can take care of my sisters. But then I started just talking about it more openly with colleagues, with friends, like, oh, hey, you're feeling tightness in your hip. You might try this yoga pose. Oh, you're feeling a tightness in your chest, you're feeling anxious. Okay, try this breathwork practice. And seeing and, witnessing people's journeys to, realizing what they actually care about, what they want to put their energy into has been so fulfilling that it, to me, is like, okay, you just have to keep going. You have to keep going. You have to keep talking about these things, because grief especially is something that we don't really talk about. It's very taboo, but it's something that everyone will experience in this lifetime. And seeing it as, okay, like as a way to continue my parents' legacy, continue sharing their energy and what they've put out into the world, and creating something of my own so that we can all just have more connection and more authenticity in our relationship.
Yeah. Excuse me. That's so good. So you talked about, and I know we don't have to touch on your sisters too much because it's your story, but like, how are they doing? Are they implementing any of these practices, on their grief journey?
You know, I share, and so it's, when you're the oldest sister and you're the oldest sister who's been parentified to a certain degree, some things land, some things don't.
Mm-hmm.
I think with my youngest sister, that's my baby. So after my parents passed, I became her legal guardian. So that's my girl. And don't get me wrong, I love my other sister too, but the relationship is just a bit different. So I would try to practice, different meditations, different breathwork practices with my youngest sister. She's a teenager, so like a lot of these things weren't hitting for her.
Yeah.
But like, little by little, there were, she also enjoys crystals. We both like have our own respective altars, to like just, keep the memory of our parents alive. So yeah, like a couple years out, I am so happy to see where my sisters are right now. They're both doing so well in work and school and, wherever they're at. But it's been a journey to get here.
Yeah. So I know when we did our pre-interview, we talked about like transmutation and alchemy and taking the tough things that we go through in life and just kind of, reworking it and making it something else, because we talked about earlier, when you're at rock bottom, where is there for you to go but up?
Mm-hmm.
And so I love having these conversations because people talked about in the beginning, oh, you guys, she's such a bright light. She has a smile, but she's been through some things. And again, I empathize and try to put myself in your shoes, because I'm like, man, I don't know how I would feel in my body, in my mind, if I had to navigate this world, regardless of nuanced and complicated relationships, without my parents. I just hear so many older women, that have lost their moms and still carry such a hole and like this deep grief, because even though they're in their 50s and 60s and 70s, at the end of the day, most people just want their mama. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And both of their parents. But I empathize with that. But you've done a great job, I think, of just transmutation and making something into something completely different, but it's serving you because you're helping other people. You've seen the fruit of what it can do in your own life, and you're helping other people with the same tools. So I think that's beautiful, and it's a great depiction of what transmutation and alchemy really looks like in somebody's life after you've gone through something tragic.
Ooh, I give it to my mom. I really like she was sick. That babe was sick, but like as her child, I didn't know how sick she was until after she passed. Because that's how she just carried herself. So that is all that I had known. And yeah, I think back to college, I didn't tell people my mom passed away. Like my professors knew, and that was kind of it. I was abroad the next semester, came back, was like, okay, thriving. And then my dad passed away. And that's when, I was like, oh, like I actually need more help. But you would never know. And even in the midst of, I just think about my mom. Like it keeps coming back to my mom. She's like, if you can do something about it, do what you can to fix it. But if you can't, like, don't worry.
That's right.
You have today, you have the present moment. And that's much easier said than done. And I'm saying that after being on this journey for a couple of years. But I think like there was just like a deep conviction that I was like, this has to be for something. There's no way God would put me through some crazy bullshit like this and it doesn't lead to something. It has to mean something.
Come on.
I didn't know what it was going to be. And I was just like, Lord, why does this have to be the preparation for whatever it is you're bringing me to? But I just had that so deep in my heart. And I was seeing it in my everyday, like in my immediate community, just the ways that I was able to share from my journey and see how it was helping people just in a random conversation. Like I'm not even thinking like too deeply about it, but I'm seeing the impact and I'm having that reflected back to me. And I'm like, okay, like something is here, something is here. So let me keep being curious and moving in that direction. And if it means me continuing to go deeper within myself to uncover more things, so that I can curate language to communicate that to other people, so they might be able to see their experiences through my own.
That is so good. In a minute, I want to talk about the community that you've cultivated, because it's clear, like, they in the comments, they've been sharing, and I just it speaks volumes, and it really connects to what you just said. And my sister, I have a twin. I was going through something really rough a few years ago, and she was like, 'cause she's known me from my womb, from the womb, my mom's womb up until now. Every crevice of me, she knows it. And she said, just thinking about your total journey and what's happening right now, she said, this is not happening for no reason. And I know people don't agree with that. Some people don't agree with that statement, but like you said, when you're in it and when you're living it and when you're going through things, you've hit that rock bottom, you're trying to rise your way back up, and certain things are being reflected in experiences and signs and wonders and people, and and you have to trust that. You're like, okay, I can breathe. This things are starting to make a little sense. And then when you start to help other people because of this specific things that you've gone through, they're like, oh, if Malaika made it through that, if Soleil made it through that, then I might have to do it tomorrow, because today I'm feeling like shit. But tomorrow I can try again. You know what I'm saying? And then being able to be a light to people, and like you said, articulate it, because you have the language, you sat through it. And some people just are teachers by nature. I think sometimes we do get like some tough battles that we have to experience to come up and be able to bring people up with us too.
Yes. I want to underscore, you said trust. You have to trust. That trust piece. And I think that is one of the most challenging aspects of it, when you are in a really dark place and you just have to hold on to that belief, that faith, that there is light at the end of the tunnel. You don't see that light yet. It's nowhere to be found. But there's something in your body that knows that it is going, if you just keep putting one foot in front of the other. I hear you so much, because I'm just like, wow, it is a journey. It is that transmutation of taking that darkness and moving it to the light.
It's the faith for me. Like, you have to hold on to it. It's really just that simple. And sometimes your faith may not look like somebody else's, but I believe what matters is that you have it and you see the fruit and what's happening in front of you, and your reality, your personal experience with you and God, what he's showing you, right? He, she, they, them, whatever you want to call them. You have to know that, trust it, be sound enough and quiet enough and sober enough to pick up on what's happening, because sometimes we get so drowned out by the things that are plaguing us in our lives, and we self-medicate. And sometimes when you're in that space, you can't always see what God is trying to show you, because you're not still enough, quiet enough, and sober enough. But once you get to that place and you just hold on, like you said, just hold on and just charge toward the light, even though you can't see it. You like, it has to be something on the other side of this, because this ain't it. You know what I mean?
Oh no, it's this ain't it. There's something there. Just keep holding onto it, and you'll just keep one foot in front of the other. You'll get there. It's subtle. That voice is subtle. It's quiet, but when it comes, you recognize it.
Yep. I wanted to read a comment from Pretty Face Maze. He or she says, grief is such a scary thing. Just as you said, we will all experience it. You are so brilliant and strong, and the way you have chose to heal is something I hope when that time comes, I will be able to do. Oh, I love that.
Love you, Macy.
Chi says, so beautiful inside and out. You are such a light. Thank you for sharing your story and path to healing. Beyond proud of you. Your tribe is amazing. I love them.
They really are. I love you, Chi. That's my bestie, years down. She's seen me through so much and more.
And gonna see you through, and she's gonna see you through some more, because I truly believe the path is gonna continue to be bright. Of course, we're still gonna go through ebbs and flows. That's just life, right? But I believe your path is just being illuminated, and so many more people are gonna see you, experience you, see light. Oh, there's Malaika. I knew Malaika was going to join this live. Remember I told you it was another girl named Malaika? So she's going to join this live. Hey, Malaika, there she is. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm very happy that we met. I'm very grateful for the internet and TikTok and me just seeing your reel. I can't remember exactly what you were talking about, but it was either related to parenting or your parents or spirituality. It was something. I'm like, I like her. And here we are. That was over a year ago.
No.
Yeah, I love it. I see a couple more comments that I really want to read. I see my cousin Lexus. Hey, I see Teresa. Hey, Teresa. Teresa is one of my good girlfriends, my big sis. She is from Liberia. She has an amazing restaurant here in
Come on,
Virginia.
West Africa.
Yeah, you need to come try when you're in Richmond because we're going to link up.
Oh,
We're going
absolutely.
to Elegant Cuisines.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so Miss Green, shout out to Mrs. Green. She is a huge supporter of Soul Rise Essentials and our podcast. She says, and you left a comment this time, like a long comment. I'm so happy for you. She says, I'm in my 60s and my mom passed away 5 years ago and my dad 1.5 years ago. Even though I miss my dad, there's still not a day that goes by that I don't think about my mom and miss her so much. We talk every day. Oh, thank you for sharing that. Thank you, Mrs. Green. We are sending you love. Andre says, thank you, Malaika, for sharing your story, your experience with loss, and how you dealt with it. Some of us go through these things, but we often think we are too weak. It's not weakness. No. The tough times come to show you your strength, I believe.
Hello.
Yeah. Chichi said, period. Hey, Serena. She said she talked to her mom every day. Sorry I missed this. It's all good. You know the replay gonna be up, girl. Serena, it's all good. Look, if y'all missing it, they so sad they coming in late. Listen, the replay will be up ASAP. So it'll be on IG, but it'll be on YouTube, and you can scroll through and pause and fast forward, do all the things. Andre says, and thank you, Soul Seek Conversations, for creating such a platform to bring people to share their stories. Thank you. Oh, you are so sweet. This is exactly why I do it. You know, people in the comments, the Soul Tribe family, they get to share, they get to relate, give the guests their flowers. We get to ponder and think and laugh and grow. That's what it's all about. I don't know if anybody remembers testimonies in church back in the day. I missed that. People need to share their testimonies. That's what this is. Share a testimony so somebody else can get free.
Yes.
Malaika says, peace to a sister angel. We are divine messengers. Ooh. Yeah.
My girl. My namesake.
I knew she was going to come in here. I haven't seen Malaika on these episodes in a while, and I knew it. Didn't I say that?
You did. You did. And I'm so glad that she came through. Come on.
I love it. I want to transition quickly into joy. And I think the question I have to kind of segue us in there is, and you did touch on this earlier, but if you want to share a little bit more in depth about, and here's my question, what do you do? And when I ask you that, I mean, what do you do to find joy? What's keeping you healthy? Please share like any type of modalities or practices. It could be simple, it could be complex, that are working for you, that have worked for you.
Yes. So I love this question. So thank you so much for asking, because I look at my life where I am today and I think back to where I have come from, and I don't think I ever envisioned getting to this point. So every day that I'm here, I'm just like, hallelujah. Wow, I get to live another day. Like, I am excited to keep doing life. So, you know, I shared a little bit earlier that I was going to the chiropractor. I was like, my spine was so effed up. Like, I was having to go 3 times a week for like maybe 2 or 3 months just to like really, you know, do some foundational work there. So part of what brings me so much joy is movement, like movement in any forms, whether it's dancing, whether it's being out in nature for a walk, whether it's doing yoga. Like, I find so much joy in being able to move my body, because I remember with such clarity what it was like to exist in a body that just only knew pain. I only knew pain. And so today, like, me just being able to dance and float and, you know, just feel what this movement is like, I am just excited. And it makes me feel connected to my mom, who, like, I talk to aunties, they're just like, your mama was always in the middle of the dance floor. And I'm like, my mama? Like, I knew that was who she was, but like, I never saw it. I was always with the kids, you know, or whatever. So like now when I dance, I, you know, dance to continue like feeling her energy. I move because this body is a temporary existence, and I want to feel deeply, so deeply into what it is like to be in it today. So dance.
Pause. Can you speak to, and hold on, let me shout out to the Soul Tribe real quick, because we've got, I think, 3 people at this point that have been in the Soul Seat as well. So that really speaks to the Soul Tribe community over here, that they come back, they share their stories on the platform, they come, they encourage other people. So shout out to my auntie, sister Azure. Shout out to Teresa has been on here as well. Lachelle, hey girl. I think that's everybody. But if I miss you, I apologize. Y'all know I love y'all, girl. Was I gonna say, pause on the movement part, because this is something that I discovered years ago. And things that you learn, you get reintroduced to, and you understand it when you need to, right? And you start practicing it when you're ready and when you need to as well. But talk about the importance of moving your body as it relates to healing and pain and wellness.
Yes. So there's a popular book that people might have heard called Body Keeps Score.
Love that book. Love that book.
And baby, the body keeps score. The body keeps score in a way that I'm just like, can you let it go? Can you, it's not that deep. But when we are raised to not have healthy, emotional outlets, everything gets trapped in. For me, for example, I very clearly remember the day that I decided I would stop crying. As a child, I said, I'm not crying anymore. I'm getting all of this negative feedback and it doesn't seem to be serving me. I'm not crying. And when I first started therapy, when my mom passed away, I was I was a wall. You couldn't get anything out. Everything was stuck inside my chest, inside my body. That's why I needed to go to the chiropractor. I was holding on to everything. And so, the chiropractor kind of helped to open some things up, and then that transitioned into my yoga practice. Hey, whoa, you will find some things inside of your body. You sit in child's pose long enough, you might find yourself crying. Why? You don't know, but it doesn't matter because it's coming out. It's coming out. Your body doesn't need to hold on to that anymore, but it doesn't know what to do because we don't give it the space for it to come out. So through, I've done a number of movement practices. So yoga and Tai Chi have been my primary. But there are ways to activate the energy channels in the body to help move things out. Emotions, energy and motion, you might hear that in the spiritual mental health, community. Energies and motion. When you don't allow the emotion to express itself, that energy is no longer in motion. It's stuck. It's trapped. So I move because it wants out. It doesn't want to be here.
Out.
It wants to express. And
that's
I think
another form of transmutation as well.
Exactly. Taking the pain, taking the weight, and expressing it as movement to get it out. I think about, I'm Nigerian. Think about the way that, especially in West Africa, there's a lot of our dance are involve the hips. And I think about, that was how they were moving and transmuting their own traumas, their own pain. And so that's why I'm gonna get the wiggles out.
I might not be the best dancer, but one thing about it, I'm a dance. Period. Who's judging? That's what move your body.
Exactly. And I try to encourage people. It doesn't matter how you look. Please, this age of everyone having a phone in the club, trying to film everybody, trying to make everyone look crazy. No, dance is expression. Dance is so powerful in the way that it can just extinguish the weight from your body. You dance and shake your body real good for 30 minutes. Or tell me you don't feel lighter at the end of it.
Yep.
So that's been my
read some of these comments, child, because they talking, honey. Malaika was snapping when you said something. Azure says, I love that. Woo woo. And all the girlies, I'm gonna start calling y'all the wellness girlies. The wellness girlies know that white man, that smart white man, is it Henry Cloud or is that a book I'm mixing up? I think Henry Cloud. No, I think I'm mixing it up. Is that him?
But I see the book.
Dr. Dan or something. One of them, child. Them all white men do be knowing what they be talking about sometimes. They wrote a very powerful book, The Body Keeps the Score. The wellness girlies know how powerful that book is. Natasha says she liked that book as well. Azure. Asha says movement is the best medicine. Dancing is life. Yoga is a spiritual practice, meaning it it soothes your spirit and gets you closer to you. Movement is the best medicine. Malaika in the comments, growth is infinite. She says she's asking you, Malaika, are you local to Richmond? Where you at, girl? Tell her where you at.
Right now, I'm based in Nairobi, Kenya. So a little bit, off the road, but I can come visit, and I will.
Hey,
Imagine so person.
we
Hey.
not gonna say too much. Y'all just need to stay tuned. Period. Okay? Because God is up to something with this connection. We gonna see what happens. Let's see. Malaika taught me a number of stretches. I can't wait to learn a few dance moves. I love that. This has been wonderful. I want to know, well, I had put a pin in the whole dance thing, but if there was anything else, any other modalities that you wanted to share, talk about joy and anything else, that's my agenda though, child. So you take it from here.
Yeah, I think the movement was the biggest piece. My journaling practice is also really like joyous. The whole process, I can look at the whole process as a very beautiful process to be in. Even if sometimes I'm writing and I'm just like, oh my God, like this pissed me off today. Oh my God, like where's my future going? Oh my God, I miss my parents. But like that whole deep appreciation for the complexity and the nuance and the ups and downs of that whole journey, because I look back to the journals that I was writing in 3, 4, 5 years ago when things were fresh, and I'm just like, whoa, we have come a long way. And my dad, I started writing when we were really, really young. My dad made me and my sisters write a daily journal every single day, like every single day. So drawing from something that my dad instilled in me to kind of help grow and heal in this process has brought me, like, it's just so exciting to go back and be like, wow, like you had just big dreams and now we're living those dreams. And it's I'm grateful.
I know we talked a lot about mom, but I have to say this. Your dad is proud and your dad is not surprised. He is not surprised of where you are and what you're doing, what you're going to do.
Something tells me that, he had enough faith in my abilities that he was able to go when he did. Like, I couldn't understand it and I still don't. But I think, from what I have heard, my aunts and uncles and the people who knew my parents, what they share is like, yo, your dad believes in you. So I said, you know what? Shoot, let me believe in myself.
That's it. That's it. Keep believing in yourself, girl. What else do you want to share? Did you want to talk about joy for a little bit? Anything that, how can they find you? What you got going on? Let us know.
Joy. I think,
and also related also to, what was the other piece that I have on flyer? Envisioning a world where people
are afforded the opportunity to like express themselves.
There you go.
Yes. So, hey, I think my joy has taken another level, like in the last, I'll say, year and a half, almost 2 years. Like I was the guardian to my youngest sister, so a lot of the decisions that I made in my early 20s were very much centered around my ability to be there for her, to make sure I had insurance, make sure like I could take care of her, as like a big sister, as a guardian, but also like, shoot, like if the government comes after me and things aren't like whatever, like I just wanted to make sure I was, on top of everything. So I struggled because I was in my early 20s starting my career and like having to just make very adult decisions that like I didn't want to have to make. And it was a heavy responsibility, and it got to the point where I was just like, yo, if I don't do something for me, I'm gonna end up being very resentful, and that's not gonna be good for anybody. So August 2022, I was laid off. It was the second time that I was laid off from a job. The Friday before my birthday, 2 years in a row, the Friday before my birthday, I was laid off. And I was just like, God, what are you trying to tell me? What you trying to tell me? So I put everything into storage and I booked a one-way ticket to Portugal. And there it was like the first time that I was like able to really just focus on myself in a way that I've never been able to do as a firstborn daughter of Nigerian immigrants. And it was such a challenging experience because I was just like, I don't know how to put that energy into myself. But I had an amazing experience. Like eye-opening to like what I can do in this world, and just an excitement to see it happen, and just keep taking the steps to bring that vision to life. I think being able to have conversations like this is so energizing for me. It is so exciting because we get to talk about what it's like, the real human shit, like the stuff that we go through, and building community and building connection in that way. And then seeing people heal has been just like a beautiful experience for me. And so in that, I've learned to reprioritize myself. And so I've, made choices to like shift my career in a way that allows me to do more soul aligned work, mission oriented work that, just makes me happier. Like I'm so much happy. I'm much more pleasant person in the workplace. Not that I was unpleasant before, because, that's like, this is who I am, but it's like I was so much more invested and so much more in it, and that brings a different energy to the work that you do. It brings a different vibrance. I'm not as drained. I'm not as cranky, irritated by little things, in a way that allows me to be more present and allows me to share the joy that I have cultivated, because I'm alive. I'm here. I get to keep trying, and just like that acknowledgement of my existence, and the memory of the fact that I didn't know I was going to get here. I look outside and I see nature. Oh my God, the trees make me so happy. I understand why people hug the trees now. I get it. I'm one of them. I get it. But like the things that you hear our elders talk about being grateful for after they've worked the job, they've done all the things.
Yeah.
They say, I cherish my peace of mind. I cherish my relationships. Those are the things that I'm trying to just really be so present with now. And I think that's what I think that is what has helped me have a different perspective on life in general. Knock on wood, if I were to go tomorrow, I would be very happy with the life that I've lived. Like I'm very, very happy with the way that I have spent my time and where I've put my energy into, because that is what I think my parents would want. And doing that for myself too. I survived like the darkest days that I hope, again, knock on wood, that I have to see in this life. Dark days are going to keep coming. It's life. Yeah. But like, we were in a place and I never thought I would get out of it. So to be here is a testimony to the past versions of myself that just kept waking up. And said, okay, we're going to do it again today. And joy is infectious. Like, I think part of the reason that I'm on this earth is to spread joy. There's so much going on in the world, in our personal lives. People are, struggling to figure out how to have healthy relationships with their partner, with their friends, with their family, at work. Yep. And hey, it's never going to stop. So how can we cultivate moments of joy? How can we cultivate moments of connection that make us come into the present moment? And when you do that over and over, joy is just in abundance. So because I know that I have it, I do what I can, however often I am able to share with others, because hey, we really need it. I'm happy to create spaces for that.
Snap, 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 crackle and pop, baby. I loved everything that you had to say, and I'm inspired, to be quite honest. So thank you for just being who you are, existing. Thank you to Malaika's friends that was able to join. I saw a lot of y'all follow us. Welcome to the Soul Tribe family. And I'm just excited, like I said, for your future, and just thank you for the work that you do, because it is a labor of love, because we got to go through some things, learn how to love on ourselves, and then so we can spread that love and that joy out to other people. And it's not easy work, but it's very rewarding. And either you put here to do it or you not. It is a very hard job. So thank you for spreading the good vibes, the joy, talking about grief and healing, and continuing to do your work so that we can benefit from it. So thank you, girl.
Thank you for having having me. I'm so glad that I got to share some of this joy with
Yeah.
you. I'm so like, when I think about the internet and how we're connected, I'm just like, wow, it is like a miracle, but also not that we're here. And
Come
so
on.
clearly there's, God, Allah, universe, whatever you believe in is acting so that we could have this conversation to share with our community. So I am very grateful to be here and
Yeah.
just so happy that we were able to have this conversation.
Yes. Where can people find you who don't know how to reach you?
Yes. So you can find me on Instagram and TikTok. Is by.malaika with 2 extra A's at the end. And then I'm also on Substack.
What is that?
Malaika's Substack is a newsletter podcast platform. I'm trying to get back into my writer podcast, era.
Okay.
So this will be a really great jumping point for me to do that. But Malaika's Musings, so Malaika with an S and then Musings, where I just, be sharing more of these reflections, more insights about my life here, about where, how I envision the world. But come hang, come say what's up, let me know what we want to dig deeper into, because we can go there.
And shout out to the Wi-Fi and the power for not doing us crazy. This was great. No hiccups. Okay. Well, thank you, my love. And I know we're going to be talking soon. So thank you. I'm going to stay on for a few more minutes and make some closing remarks. But that has been episode 31 of Soul Seek Conversations, a mental health podcast for humans on the grow, with our girl, Malaika. How you say the last name? Ogukwe.
Yes.
I've been practicing, Thank you,
Thank
love.
you so much for having me. I'm so glad we could do this, and I'm excited to see the next episode.
Yes, thank you. Have a great day.
Bye.
Y'all, that was another great episode of Soul Seek Conversations. As you know, we sell mental health apparel for resilient humans on the grow, for adults and for children. But one of the ways that we build the Soul Tribe family is by coming on once a month, typically on a Thursday, to share the story of a brave individual that just wants to inspire you, connect with you, and inspire you, and I'm sorry, give you new ways to thrive on your healing and wellness journey. And I knew y'all would love her. Something about her, I just saw her and I was like, I like her. I want to know her. Did not even talk to this girl. Like, I think I probably followed her, but then sometime later I followed her on Instagram, and then I finally messaged her, and we just spoke for the first time like last week, because I've been super busy. But I love how God works, and how the internet can just be a really powerful tool to connect you to your people. Malaika, Growth is Infinite. Message me and let's get something on the calendar. Also, I finally set up a Calendly too, y'all. So Malaika, if you want to use this, go to booksoleil.com to get on my calendar. Let's just set up a conversation, set up some lunch meet, talking to Malaika right now, y'all. That would be great. Let's just do it. We need to just do it, period. Let me read a couple more comments. Azure says, you are a beautiful soul. I agree. She really is. Nature Natasha says, thank you guys. You are very welcome. Azure says, thank you for sharing. You're sharing joy with us all. Thank you. And Serena, hey girl. She says, I appreciate these conversations. What's up, Euphoria? Hey. Man, I'm so inspired by her. Like, sometimes you just need to be around some good, positive energy. And that is what I want for my birthday on tomorrow, y'all. I just want, what's up, Barrington? Shout out to you in Florida. Thank you for being on here with us and for watching. All I want for my birthday tomorrow, y'all, is to be loved on. Give me my damn flowers. Don't wait until I'm 6 feet under and can't smell them, child. Give me my flowers. Shout out to my twin sister, Tajay. Shout out to my late maternal grandmother, Mabel Monique Young. I was born on her birthday, my twin as well. My son was supposed to be born on April 19th as well, but I said, Lord, let him have his own day. And he came 2 days before. So we have so much joy, so many celebrations to celebrate right now in my family. And I'm feeling good. So again, just keep the positive vibes flowing, the love, the prayers. We appreciate and receive them over here, and we send them back to you tenfold. Thank you, Azure. A happy birthday every day. I love that. I will see y'all next month. This episode will be on our YouTube. I'm actually going to put it on there today. But yeah, if you want to be a guest on the podcast to share your story, you can go to you can email my story at soulriseessentials.com. If you made it to the end and you watching the replay, you are a real one. Put down in the comments some sunshine emojis to let us know that you rocking with us, that you enjoyed it. Also, if you're watching the replay, leave some comments, man. How did this conversation or any other conversation move you? Did you learn something? Were you impacted? Share it with somebody, okay? Lastly, y'all, mind your mind and shine your light. I will see y'all next month for episode 33. Get on the email list because we dropping these shirts tomorrow at some point. Peace, y'all.